Hello, everyone. This is Jason Roggasch. This fucking article goes right into what I've been saying literally on my last 5 videos, especially the last 3 or 4. Here is a story about the military and the NFL and other sports leagues, but the NFL particularly, this one I'll be talking about, how they have paid. Let me just read you this article, and this is from Deadspin Sports. Senate investigators report that the Department of Defense has spent more than $9 million over the last 4 years on military tributes at sporting events, carefully staged patriotic displays meant to drum up goodwill and recruiting that weren't publicly disclosed as paid advertisements. If you've gone to a game or watched TV, you've been exposed to these ads. They take familiar forms: giant American flags, military family reunions, the singing of God Bless America at baseball games, even things as seemingly minor as showing troops on the Jumbotron for a round of applause. Senator Jeff Flake revealed the practice earlier this week. Flake and John McCain, of all people, have obtained 122 different contracts between the Pentagon and individual teams and leagues. These are the top 10 teams that were paid the most from their salute to the troops. Number 1 was the Atlanta Falcons with $879,000. Number 2, no surprise here, New England Patriots with $700,000. The Buffalo Bills came in at 3 with $650,000. The Minnesota Wild, I don't know if they mean the Minnesota Vikings, but they say the Minnesota Wild, $570,000. Baltimore Ravens, $530,000. New Orleans Saints, $400,000. San Diego Chargers, of course, because that's a big Marine base there. And Navy base, $400,000. Seattle, $400,000. Atlanta, $400,000. The Braves, $400,000, and the Colts, $400,000 plus. Wow, that's a lot of money. While the spending is largely on events at NFL games, there were contracts with teams from all major sports, as well as Major League Soccer, auto racing, and college football. Of course, these amounts are a drop in the bucket for the military, which has an estimated budget of $600 billion in 2015, and only a slightly larger splash for the teams making the money. But people deserve to know when advertisements are advertisements, and that the sport leagues are so when advertisements are advertisements, and that sport leagues that are so eagerly trumpet their patriotism are making sure that they get some cash for their efforts. So basically, folks, the military is doing what it's always done. And I can give you articles about this, about the Hollywood, how they pay to recruit and do patriotic displays in movies. And now we have absolute 100% evidence that all of those big flag ceremonies that you see, all of those fake, the reunion between the soldier and the girl, or the soldier and his family, all of those are fake. They're paid for, they're staged, they're not organic. They have nothing to do with reality. And now you know that you're actually paying for it. $9 million over the last 4 years. And again, it's a drop in the bucket, but just for advertising at live sporting events. I mean, put that into some perspective, folks. They don't even really, and the NFL is so patriotic, right? Don't they tell us how much they love America? Remember all the Pat Tillman shit? They make sure that they get paid quite fucking handsomely from the United States military to advertise death, murder, chaos, environmental degradation, destruction of the fucking planet, oppression of people of minorities, empire. That's what the NFL is aligned with. And they're not doing it just because I'll be honest with you. Until I read this article, I thought the NFL was just doing this for marketing. I honestly was so naive that I follow the money, and they've been paid to do this. I honestly thought that seriously, after 9/11, I thought everyone was going to wrap themselves in a flag and the patriotic fervor. But that's not the case. They're actually being paid. The military is paying them to do this. That is fucking shocking. So all of that, which you think is public relations and is goodwill, you know what I'm saying, on some level, because public relations is it's fake goodwill, but nevertheless goodwill, isn't. It's actually completely contrived patriotism. Completely 100% contrived, paid for patriotism. To advertise for your kids to go join the murder machine that is the United States military while they're watching the NFL. Unfucking believable. And NASCAR and Major League Soccer and Major League Baseball and hockey and college football games everywhere. And this doesn't include the bowl games that they support or the advertisements on television. This is just for the events. This is just for those celebrations you see before the games. And my boy Dreamland said He talked about this, how they're playing God Bless America during the 7th inning stretch. That's all paid for by the military. Your tax dollars, folks. See, the military isn't good. People don't want to kill. They don't want to pay for murder and death. They have to be public relationed into it. They have to be induced into it. And if it takes their own money to do it, so be it, if they're that naive. Wow, this is a shocking article. I'll leave the link below.